What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and guys, today I want to talk about the Pokemon game we will never get. Now, to just give you guys a little bit of backstory on what made me think of this video, and I'm just kind of freeballing this one, I don't really have a script or anything, and I just looked up a bunch of pictures that I thought would roll in with it. Pokemon currently has 137 titles to the Pokemon thing. Now that is across multiple gaming consoles and phone apps. And Pokemon has evolved so much over the years, and they just every time we get a new region or a new game, you just kind of lose the previous game setups. And I say that some things have stuck around, some things stick around for 2 or 3 games, and some things don't. Originally, the mechanics were only single Pokemon battles. Then we moved on to where we could do double battles, and that was exciting, and that turned into its own thing. After double battles, the next big thing we got introduced to was Mega Evolution, a gimmick that gave old Pokemon new evolutions, new life, a new way to battle. It gave them new typings. It gave them typings we always thought they should have had. Then we moved on from Mega Evolution, and we got Z moves. Mega Evolution did carry over into that generation, and it was kind of, in my opinion, arguably a little bit better than Z moves. Z moves was a one-time buff in one move, and Mega Evolution you got throughout the battles. But then after Z moves went to the Switch, and it gave us Gigantamaxing and Dynamaxing. But when it did that, it threw out Mega Evolutions and Z moves. Those did not come over to the Switch. And we lost the national deck, so even all the Pokemon didn't come over to the Switch. Later on after that, we got strong style moves and agile style moves, and those are strictly in Legends Arceus. You actually can't use those outside of that game either. Then after that, we move into this next generation, and we get Terrestrialization. But then they didn't bring over the Gigantamaxing and the Dynamaxing. That doesn't carry on to the new game. Yeah, we got an open world game, but they left all of these cool things behind. We don't get access to those anymore. They're going to move on from the tournaments. Like, you can hold your own tournaments in whatever game you want to play with your friends. That's fine. But we don't actually get to use those in playthroughs anymore. And now that we've moved into open world and DLCs, and they can just expand on a particular region a couple of times, and then they'll just move on, and they charge the same amount of money for a game just for these DLCs. It's almost overwhelming, and we don't get all of these fun gimmicks anymore. And that's the Pokemon game that I would love to see. We presently have 9 generations of Pokemon. That's 9 mainline series of regions that we never get to go back to again, carrying on into the future. And yeah, they'll revamp the games and they'll come out. Then, we got Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Every year they kind of do a remake, and you get to relive those things. It updates the mods, it brings them back, but they're generally just remakes with a few changes. The game that I know we will never see in Pokemon is a game that just incorporates all of it. I would love to see one big region where, or even just a new game where you can just go and just, hey, this DLC is $20, but you get the Johto region, or the Kanto region, or the Unova region, or all of these other ones. So now you have a mainline game where you've played through this game, this story. Then you have the ability to go to a new region. And I'm not saying bring the new Pokemon into that new region. No, start over. You can almost start over from scratch in that region till we'll say you beat that region. Then you can bring in your new Pokemon and play through with Pokemon that you've had there. That way you have to rebuild your team each and every time you go to this new place. And even if we can't get that, because that may seem a lot, we don't even get a game that carries on to like the Switch and the new consoles where you get to use all the old gimmicks. And I would love to, even if they just made a game like that, like Battle Revolution or Pokemon Showdown, which, by the way, is a fan thing. Pokemon Showdown exists. I love it's a fun thing to do. It's a fun way to play as different things, to try out new teams and just to practice it. But it's all fan game and it's open source. Anybody can download it. And I don't want that to go away. But I can't believe Nintendo never made a game like that they can just carry on to these new consoles and update it. You don't even have to use your own team. You don't even have to like carry over your Pokemon into this game. You can just go into that game and do what you do on Showdown. Get a team, build your own team, build the moves you want in with it, and then just go online and battle each other. I can't believe Nintendo never did that. Mind you, I don't necessarily want them to do that. I want Showdown to stay its own thing. I like the fact that they don't have any control over that. So there is at least something out there that's not connected to anything that we can go and we can play with these all the old gimmicks, bring the old gimmicks and the new gimmicks together, where you could have a Gigantamaxing Pokemon on the same team as a Mega Evolving Pokemon, but even Showdown has its own rules against that, but I don't want to say that. But I would love a region, or just a game, where they just constantly update it with all the old regions. Even if it's a completely new, just a new side game. Hey, you have to play this game. It's got its own story. It's got its own side story that you can just go in and just do this thing. Hey, let's just start here. You get to pick from any of the starters that are up to the current generation. Turn around, go and just do these quests in this own thing. But every time you do this quest, you unlock a new gimmick, you unlock a new battle style, you unlock a new Pokemon region that you can draw your Pokemon from. That'll just start appearing in like an overworld-ish thing. And I can't believe that we don't have a game like that. Pokemon has been around since I was a kid, and we've never seen a game that's, even remotely close to that wasn't fan-made. And I can tell you why we'll never get that. There's no money in it. There's not. There's no point in them just doing that on a sole console. Because then whenever the game leaves, because eventually, I think, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now, okay? Gen 10, or for sure Gen 11, will not be on the Switch. It'll be on Nintendo's next game console. So then you have to buy that console in order to play Pokemon. And if you had a game like I'm talking about, where it's on this one console, and now they've dumped all of this money into this, even if you're spending money to get all the other regions, there's no money in that, because then you'd have to carry it over to the next game, and they'd have to update it and do the constant thing. It's just easier for them to bring all that, or to not do that, and just do what they're going to do with their next region. But it's almost a sad thing to say, and maybe whenever Pokemon is just done, whenever they've said, okay, this is the last region of Pokemon, this is the last game we're gonna make, we're moving on to something else. I don't think that'll ever happen. Pokemon's a giant cash cow. I highly doubt that Nintendo or Game Freak and all these people will ever go, nope, we are not doing that. We are just gonna end it here. This is it. This is the story. Pokemon is a huge money for these people, and they're never gonna quit. So I'm not necessarily worried about that Pokemon just kind of ending, but like eventually I think it'll just kind of be, they'll probably go pull back from older regions because it'll just be retro. And it's kind of sad in a sense. I would love to see a game where you could do all of this, but you know what, there are other ways to make Pokemon fun. The fans do it all the time. Nuzlocke is a fan thing. There's no game that's just a Nuzlocke. You can't just get a game and go, hey, you can only catch one Pokemon per route, and every time you lose a Pokemon, you lose it forever. You can't do that. Like, so it's a complete fan thing that we've done to make Pokemon harder. But then a fun game you could also just add to the existing games, which is a thing we'll never see either. It's just a hard mode. Give us a Pokemon hard mode, just a selection, right? Beginning of the game, it comes up, hey, I'm Professor Oak, and this is, welcome to the fabulous world of Pokemon. What mode would you like to play on? Easy, medium, hard. Easy is for all the kids. It's all the beginners. Medium is for people who are like, I kind of want a challenge, but I just want to enjoy my playthrough. Hard, Pokemon on hard mode. All the trainers have, at least teams of 3 Pokemon. You can't over-level through the gyms. All the gym leaders have fully IV and EV trained Pokemon in teams of 6, and you have to go through the game like that, and that would be an incredible challenge for people. We're already doing it with ROMs. You can already just go, okay, I want this, and this. Imagine just having that option in just the main series game instead of having to have a ROM and a hack. Like, that would be an amazing thing. And they don't even do that because primarily, I'll admit, this is a game made for 10-year-olds. I mean, it is. It's their demographic is young children. At each new generation, they're trying to get the young children. And the nostalgia people like us and me, because I've loved playing Pokemon since I was a kid. They don't care so much about that because they know I'm gonna buy the next game and I'm just gonna Nuzlocke it and I'm just gonna do this and I'm just gonna shiny hunt for hours on end in these games because it's fun to do and it's fun to play. But it would still lets me have this dream of this Pokemon game that just takes all of the regions and just goes, here is the real Pokemon world. This is what the map looks like. We've got fan-made maps of the Pokemon world, but this is what the actual map looks like. You can go through all of these things, then you unlock a trait, and you go back to Hisui. And you actually don't even have to do that because it's kind of in Scarlet and Violet. In the new DLCs, you can find Hisui Pokemon, so they didn't go extinct. They're just in other places, so you don't even have to do that. But that is the Pokemon game that we will never see them do. Is a game that includes every single Pokemon region, and it's both sad but semi-understandable. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about my little rant in the comments down below. Would you guys enjoy Pokemon on hard mode, or would you guys just want to leave it how it is and just play the games how you want to play the games? I think there would be people out there that would love speed running on hard mode. I think that would add a really interesting thing. I don't know if it would add any extra money or any real value to the games, but it would just be kind of fun to have the next game instead of it being open world, which is fun. I would almost rather give up the open worldness for a slightly more of a challenge and bring back a truly evil team. Make the bad guys actually hard to beat, or at least give us the option to make them hard to beat. Or like I said, just give us a side thing that you can update that says, hey, this has Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, Alola, Galar, and Paldea. And then as soon as the next game comes out, they just throw on this patch update and it's like, yep, here you go. Here's the new region. You ain't got to play through the whole game. It's just a blocks format where it's just like Gen 1. Pokemon are in colored, you get all the gimmicks, but it's just the sprites that change. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And while you're down there, guys, please remember, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notification bells so you never miss another video from me. And I will see you guys in the next video.